Hey guys, I'm Jay Cataldo, and in this video I'm going to demonstrate 3 mini inductions on a beautiful Maxim model who I just met for the first time. I'm also going to teach you exactly how to do each one so you can get the exact same results you're about to see in this video with your friends, your family, and even total strangers. So go grab a pen so you can take some notes and we'll jump right in. So first off, who am I? My name's Jay Cataldo. I've been studying the art of hypnosis for about 22 years now. It's a long time. I work professionally as a hypnotist and life coach in Manhattan. And unfortunately, I've wasted thousands of dollars and years of wasted time and effort on books and videos and seminars that just didn't deliver. Now, thankfully, I never gave up, and I eventually figured out how hypnosis really works. And once I figured this out, I decided to launch an online hypnosis school where I teach all aspects of hypnosis, from hypnotic phenomena such as freezing someone's body or making them forget their name, to therapeutic techniques such as confidence enhancement and stress management, and also erotic applications that you can use with your significant other or someone you'd like to be intimate with. Now, the best part is, I teach only what works in the real world. So you're not going to have to waste time and money sifting through all the garbage out there, like I had to. And I'll tell you more about this later, but for now, let's get back to your lesson so we can get you up to speed. So here's the backstory. I shoot photography as a hobby, and I work with lots of models, but not this one. I reached out to Kiara about a week ago to see if she'd like to shoot this video. We spoke for a couple of minutes on the phone, and that was it. She literally walked into my apartment about 5 minutes before we started filming, so because we just met, you're going to get to see how I work with a total stranger. It's completely off the cuff. She's never been hypnotized before, and you're going to see how I make sure she has an amazing experience. Now, unfortunately, not all the girls I work with are cool people. I mean, some of them just have awful personalities, as you can imagine, but Kiara is super cool. She's very bright, she's totally down to earth, very sweet girl, and we have a lot of things in common, so there was a nice connection right from the get-go. But you're not going to click with everyone you meet, and it's your job as the hypnotist to make the person feel super comfortable as quickly as possible. And I teach my little tricks for how to do this in my courses, but if you really want to learn this, it's best to come to a live workshop. But I'm going to teach you one of my tricks right now. And this trick is simply not to use any tricks. I know that sounds weird, but in other words, you need to genuinely want to make the person feel really good. And you have to want this without wanting anything back in return. And the reason for this is that most women, especially if they're very attractive, are hyper-perceptive, and they can sense when you have ulterior motives. So if you're relaxed and at ease and you're feeling a genuine desire to help them have a great experience, then it really puts the person at ease, and you're much more likely to have a successful session. All right, so let's check out the beginning. This is your first time? You've never been hypnotized before?
Never.
So, well, first off, introduce yourself. Who are you?
I'm Kiara Gomez.
Who is Kiara Gomez?
Model, actress, designer, entrepreneur, philanthropist. I do a little bit of everything. I have my own fashion line.
Oh, wow.
I've been modeling for about a decade now.
Wow.
And I'm currently pursuing acting.
So you started when you were 5 years old?
Yeah, right.
So you'll see how I make little jokes and I tease her and I'm playful. You don't have to do this, but this is just my style. I show them that everything's light and fun and silly. I joke around, I curse a little bit. It's just two friends chilling and there's zero pressure.
No, I started when I was 16. I just turned 26 over the weekend.
That's right. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Last week?
Yeah, a couple of days ago, not even a week.
Not even? Well, all right. Fellow Pisces.
Yeah.
We
Were
are
you
the
a Pisces
best.
also?
Of course. Next
When's
week's
your
my birthday, March 11th.
Oh my God.
But you're in the cusp, right? You're 23rd?
I'm like right, the 19th is the first day of Pisces. My birthday's on the 24th.
Oh, that means you're a cusp. Mm-hmm. That means you're part Aquarius. This means you're part pain in the ass. Yeah. She's not actually on the cusp. If you're into astrology, then you know this. But again, it's just an opportunity to tease her a little bit and keep things light, silly, and fun. But that's okay. You still sneak in there with Pisces. Not as totally cool as me, but all right. So you do all this awesome stuff, but you've never been hypnotized before.
No.
So what do you know about hypnosis?
Zero. Nothing.
Zero.
Like, this
nothing.
is like going to be very interesting.
Okay, so I can totally lie to you and you have no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. All right. All right. So now I'm going to get into what's called the pre-talk. And in a nutshell, the pre-talk is where you explain what hypnosis really is, what it's all about, and also what hypnosis is not. It's not mind control. You can't make them tell secrets. You're not going to make them see ghosts. There's a lot of misconceptions out there due to stage shows and movies. So you want to dispel some of these myths. And you do this to make sure they feel absolutely comfortable, that nothing weird's going to happen. And then you're going to talk about some of the amazing things you can use hypnosis for. But since you're not going to be doing a full hypnosis session yet, you don't need to do a pre-talk. You can actually skip right over this and go right into the mini inductions you're about to learn. So we're going to jump now to the next section. All right, so check this out. We're going to do some things that are like hypnosis, but not hypnosis, just to show you how your mind works automatically.
Okay.
All right? So that right there was my magic line that works every single time. Very simply, you say, do you want to see something super cool about how your mind works? It's kind of like hypnosis, but not hypnosis. Check this out. And the reason why this works is because even though what we're about to do is technically hypnosis, most people don't consider it to be hypnosis. So if they're a little bit interested in hypnosis, they're probably going to be interested in seeing this. If they're a little bit afraid of hypnosis or not sure what to think, you're taking the pressure off by saying it's like hypnosis but not hypnosis. So you can easily approach friends and even strangers and say, hey, you want to see something cool about how your mind works? Check this out. It's kind of like hypnosis but not hypnosis. And then you go right into the mini inductions. Now before we get to those, I want to point something out real quick. The 3 techniques I'm about to teach you are traditionally called suggestibility tests. In other words, most hypnotists try to see how suggestible somebody is, or how responsive they'll be to hypnotic suggestion, and they do this before they hypnotize them. Now, in my opinion, this is absolutely pointless because everybody is suggestible. So it's better to just assume the person in front of you is a great subject and forget about trying to test them. Instead, you want to consider this a warm-up. You're warming them up, you're making them feel comfortable, you're showing them how powerful their mind is, and you're getting them excited about doing a full hypnosis session with you. So here's the first one. This is the finger magnets. It's super easy to do, and everybody loves it. So let's check it out. Hands out like this. Clasp them together. Put them up like you're praying to God. In a moment, you're going to extend your 2 index fingers. And when you do, you're going to stare at the space between your fingers and just pretend that you have magnets in the tips of your fingers.
Okay.
Easy. Okay? Now, if you had magnets, you would feel your fingers coming together automatically.
Yes.
Just imagine you can feel a magnetic pull. Don't pull them together. Don't pull them apart. Just pretend in your mind and see what happens. Got it? Squeeze your hands tight. All right, so that's how you set it up. You tell them to squeeze their hands together, and in a moment, because you don't want them starting now yet, you have to explain what you want them to do. They're going to extend their index fingers. They're going to stare at the space between their fingers and just imagine that they can feel a magnetic pull between their fingers. That's it. And as they do that, you're going to use your hypnotic patter. You're just going to repeat over and over that they're feeling the pull getting stronger. They can feel their fingers coming together. The more they stare, the more they feel that force getting stronger and stronger and stronger. That's it. And you're going to keep talking like that until you see their fingers come together. Now, you're going to notice with Kiara that as her fingers were coming together, she started to pull them apart a little bit. Now, some people will do this. It doesn't usually happen. If it doesn't happen, the fingers are going to come together much, much faster. If they're pulling them apart or not following instructions, that's okay. Just refocus them and tell them what you want them to do. Now also, here's a little trick for you. If you have them squeeze their hands tightly together first, then the position of their hands will make the fingers come together faster. It's a little physiological trick, but you'll notice that after she squeezed her hands together, she relaxed them a little bit. So that's why it took a little longer, but it's okay. You don't have to wait for the fingers to come together. You could if you wanted to, but I like to be quick and move things along fast so they don't overanalyze what's happening. All right, so here's the next part. Bend your fingers, stare at the space, feel the pull getting stronger, stronger, stronger. That's right. The more you stare, the more they come together automatically. That's right. Feel that pull getting stronger, the more you stare. That's right. Fingers moving together as if they have a mind of their own. And don't try to pull them apart. Just let them do what they need to do. That's right. So here she starts to smile because she can feel them coming together. She notices something's happening. Something else I do, I say, that's right. Each time I see something I want, each time she focuses more, or each time the fingers move together a little bit more, I'll say that's right, which acts as a hypnotic suggestion to her subconscious mind. It's a little advanced. You don't need to know that. What's important here is that you keep their focus between their fingers. And you keep repeating over and over, feel them coming together, the pull's getting stronger, feel those magnets stronger, stronger, stronger. That's it. And then you wait, because hypnotic movement typically is slow and jerky. They're usually not going to come together immediately. Try to fight it, it actually works better. And then feel it. That's another useful line. If you see them pulling them apart or they're trying to fight it, you can say, the more you fight it, the better it works. Getting even stronger. That's right. Automatically, because that's how powerful your mind is. That's right. You really don't want them to touch, and you're pulling them apart a little bit, but that's cool. It works. Perfect. Put your hands out. So she's still kind of fighting it at the end, and that's okay. Look, here's an important tip for you guys. The best hypnotists in the world are not always successful. It's a myth that they get the results they want every single time. It doesn't happen. Most of them are putting out their absolute best videos on YouTube, and they're not going to show you when they fail. But here's the thing. What makes a hypnotist great is that they never skip a beat. They keep moving forward until they find an approach that works with the person in front of them. That's it, because you got to modify what you do slightly for every person you work with. Now, my personal hypnosis system, the one I teach in my course, I designed it in a way that ensures you're never going to fail or look silly in front of an audience, because everything that happens looks and feels like a success to the subject, because they don't know exactly what you're trying to do and what you're trying to achieve. So if you frame it properly, they think that everything that happens is supposed to happen. And they think you are absolutely flawless as a hypnotist. And this is great because once you know you're not going to look like a fool or get laughed at when you make a mistake, your confidence shoots up through the roof. And at that point, you start getting better results because your subjects can then sense that you're super confident and sure of yourself. So of course you start to get better results. And if you want to learn my whole system from start to finish, then you're going to want to check out my 7-day quick start home study course, which is designed to have you hypnotizing total strangers like a pro in 7 days or less. And in this home study program, I'll be teaching you the 3 most important aspects of hypnosis, which are how to drop someone into a deep trance, how to perform hypnotic phenomena such as freezing someone's body, amnesia, time distortion, and many others, and also how to use simple, therapeutic techniques to help people overcome their issues and challenges. You're going to get full breakdowns, you're going to get word-for-word scripts, and you'll also get to see me perform the techniques on multiple girls. So you'll know exactly what to expect in the real world, because every person's unique, so every session becomes a little bit different. And if you do decide to get the course, you'll also get to see this entire session with Kiara from start to finish, because I threw it in as a little extra bonus. You'll also get my session notes, so you'll know exactly what I'm doing each step of the way and why I'm doing each step, which makes it a lot easier to follow along. And lastly, just so you know, most of my students who have taken other courses and workshops say that the 7-day Quick Start program is the absolute fastest way they've found to learn hypnosis, which will save you years of wasted time and money on other programs that don't teach a complete system from A to Z that actually works in the real world. So you might want to check that out. But let's get back to your lesson. This is the next mini induction. This is called the book and balloon exercise. Like this, great job. Take any hand you want, flip one over. Okay, so in a moment, I want you to imagine I'm going to place this massively heavy book right here. Close your eyes. Feel the weight of that book in your right hand. All right, so this is interesting. She's already lifting her right hand higher up than her left hand. So normally you want the hands to be on the same plane. If not, it's going to take a little bit longer to get the effect. However, I like to challenge myself. It's not a big deal, but just keep in mind that ideally you want their hands right next to each other. So you have them flip one hand over, close their eyes, and tell them to imagine that they have a very heavy book in their right hand. And they can feel that book. It's heavy. It's like a big dictionary. And they can feel their entire arm getting heavy, uncomfortable. It's very, very hard to hold up that book. A heavy dictionary, textbook. As you feel the weight, you can feel the heaviness start flowing up your right arm. Your whole arm's getting heavy, so heavy, it's so uncomfortable to hold the book. She's nodding her head because she can feel it. She can actually feel discomfort just by the power of her imagination. Go. But on your left wrist, imagine I'm tying this massive bouquet of helium balloons. All right, so I lift up her wrist a little bit to get it going. And we're doing the opposite here. In one hand, they're holding a very heavy book. And on their other hand, you're going to tie these massive helium balloons to her wrist. So on this arm, she's going to feel it lifting up towards the sky. And you're doing the same thing. On the one side, you say, feel that one arm getting heavier and heavier, so heavy. Kind of like what we did with the finger magnets, right? Feel the pull getting stronger, stronger, stronger. On the other hand, you're going to feel those balloons tugging up that arm all the way up to the sky. And your arm is feeling lighter and lighter, lifting up higher and higher. And the other arm's getting heavier, heavier, so uncomfortable. But the other arm is floating up, higher and higher, getting lighter and lighter. And you keep doing this until you see a difference in the height of her hands. One should be lower and one should be higher. And then when they get to that point, you're going to tell them to freeze their arms in position and then open their eyes. Because even though they're feeling this right now, they don't know consciously that their arms are moving. To them, it just feels a little bit different. So you want them to open their eyes and see the difference in the height of their hands. On that left wrist. As you look up in your mind's eye, you can see those huge big balloons pulling up that left wrist. That's right. But that right arm's getting heavier and heavier. I'm placing a second huge heavy book on top of the first one. To make the effect stronger, you can add a second book. You just want to drop the book. It's so uncomfortable. But your left hand's chilling. It's floating up higher and higher. And if you notice her left hand is bouncing a little bit, there's jerky movements. That is typical of unconscious movements. When the unconscious mind is moving the body, you'll usually see slow and jerky movements. Not always. Sometimes it's a little bit more fluid, but usually it's going to look like this. And higher, that's right, automatically with that right arm. Oh my God, you want to drop the books. Now freeze your arms in position, open your eyes. So now we have enough distance between the two hands so she can open her eyes and have a look. And remember, if her hands started out on the same plane, then by now there'd be much more of a difference between the height of her hands. But we don't need one hand to be up towards the ceiling and one down by the floor. It's not that necessary. Although if you wanted to, you could go a little bit longer. But remember, it's going to be a little uncomfortable for the person if you take too long. Put your hands down. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
What did that feel like?
It was interesting. I felt like pain start to develop in my right arm.
I know.
But this one felt completely free.
Completely free?
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
No. So she's describing a phenomenon called catalepsy, because when a person goes into hypnosis, you can actually leave their limbs suspended in space. You can kind of move them like a mannequin, and the unconscious mind will hold them in place without any stress or strain. So that's why if you put your arms outstretched right now or you're wide awake and conscious, after about a minute, your arms are going to start hurting. They feel uncomfortable. But with suggestion, we can suggest that the one arm is becoming cataleptic. And that's why her left arm was completely free of pain. It just felt free, as she said, just relaxed and chilling, almost like it's being lifted up on a cushion of air. But her right arm, due to suggestion, was feeling really heavy, painful, and uncomfortable. And that's enough for them to realize that something interesting and unusual is starting to happen. No books.
No.
No balloons.
Mm-mm.
But that's the power of your mind.
Yes.
Makes sense?
Exactly.
And that's why our imagination is so powerful.
Yes.
And it's also the reason why when you imagine a lot of stupid shit, it's really problematic. For an audition, so I'm going to
put things into perspective. Oh my God. Yeah.
Now I take this opportunity to explain to them why it's so dangerous to talk negatively to yourself. You look in the mirror and you say, I'm ugly, or I'm stupid, or I'm not going to succeed today, I'm going to screw up, nobody likes me. These are suggestions that you're giving to your unconscious mind. And the more you repeat them, the more likely they are to become true for you. All right? And that's why she said, yeah, this puts things into perspective because your imagination is that powerful. If you keep imagining a certain result, that result is more likely to happen. And instead of imagining successes, unfortunately, most people imagine screw-ups, failures, things going wrong. What if this happens? What if I lose my job? What if my girlfriend dumps me? And if you do a good enough job of that in your head, what happens? You start to feel those negative emotions. You start to get sad. You start to get angry. You start to get anxious. So you can already start educating them and appear as an authority and somebody who's super smart simply by making these little comments. And it can have a powerful effect on her. If Kiara is now just a little bit more mindful about negative self-talk and the importance of saying positive things to herself, then just right there, we made a major change in her life. Something that can benefit her and help her for years to come. So don't just think of this stuff as goofy little games and showing off and making the girl laugh. This is a powerful set of tools that you can use in so many ways to completely transform a person's life. And the best part is you can start using this stuff today, immediately, right after you finish watching this. Yeah, makes sense? So, it's a big problem, big issue. We do this all the time. So you got to be really, really careful. By the same token, when you imagine things going well, things going positively, we're usually more likely to produce a positive result. Not guaranteed, but you're basically telling your brain, this is what I want to have happen.
Yes.
When you imagine the opposite, you're saying, I want it to go shitty. Can you make this happen? Your brain's like, you sure? Okay. And then makes it happen, right? Yeah. You got to be careful. All right, one more. Put your hand out. I was doing some coaching there. So the next one, the third one, is called pulse jumping. Let's take a look. Like this. Make a fist. Squeeze it as tight as you can. Tight, 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 tight. Even tighter. I'm sorry, you got rings on. It's going to hurt. But
should I take my rings off?
What's that?
No,
that's okay. No, let's say hurt. Squeeze it real tight, as tight as you can. Tight, tight, even tighter, 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 tighter. Squeeze that fist super, super tight. Now, in a moment, you're going to relax your hand, but you're not going to move it. Just relax it. Good. In a moment, you're going to start opening your hand. As you do, you're going to feel your fingers tightening up. It's going to feel like they really don't want to open. So slowly try to open that hand. And as you do, you're going to feel like your hand is sticking and stuck. Yeah, that's right. Try to get those fingers open real slow. That's right. All right, so this one uses a sneaky little trick. If you squeeze your hand really tight, make a really tight fist for about 15 seconds, and then you relax it, when you go to open up your hand is going to feel like your fingers are a little bit stuck. They're going to feel sticky. You're going to have trouble opening your hand. Now, I compound the effect by using suggestion. You'll hear me say, now in a moment, you're going to try to open your hand, and when you do, those fingers are going to feel sticky. They're going to feel hard to move. They're going to feel like they're kind of glued together. So go on, try to open your hand. And here she starts smiling because she's feeling it. She's having trouble opening that hand. Right, just extend them. It's going to take a while. As you do, it's going to feel like it's going to feel pressure, like I'm squeezing that hand. But you can do it. Slowly start opening those fingers. It's kind of interesting how that works. She's having trouble, so I come over to open up her hand so we can move to the next step. Now, the reason why we have her squeeze her hand tight is because when you do this, you're more likely to be able to feel the pulse in your fingertips. And they have to be able to feel that pulse before we can move on to the next part. Help you out a little bit, try to get them open, a little bit. Good. Now, right there, I want you to feel the pulse in your index finger, right there. Put your attention on the pulse and just nod your head when you can feel the pulse in your index finger. Right in the tip of your finger. Okay, she's taking a while. Some people feel it instantly. Other people need a little bit of time. So give her about 10 to 15 seconds. You notice it yet?
Mm-mm.
Right there. There's going to be a little faint little pulse in the tip of your finger. Got it? Okay, she's got it now. So very simply, we say, I'm going to snap my fingers. And when I do, you're going to feel that pulse in the very tip of that finger jump to a new finger. And I'm going to say that finger right now, 1, 2, 3, and ring finger. And that brings their attention to their ring finger. And they're going to start feeling that pulse in the second finger. Very easy technique. Snap my fingers, that pulse is going to jump to the next finger I say. You're going to notice in the next finger,
I feel it.
1, 2, 3, ring finger. Feel it in the ring finger. Let me know when you feel it. Nod your head. Okay, there it is. So she got confused, if you notice. She said, I feel it before I snap my fingers. So she was just saying that she felt it strongly in the first finger. So sometimes it takes them a while to really focus in. Also, when they're focusing on the tips of their fingers, the pulse will start to get stronger. They start to feel it more. So sometimes they just need a few seconds to really focus in to be able to feel that. So now we made her pulse jump to a second finger. And just for fun, we can do it one more time. That's right. When I snap my fingers again, it's going to jump to another finger. 1, 2, 3, middle finger. Feel it jump to the middle finger. Right in that tip. Just nod your head when you feel it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty interesting, right? Mm-hmm. Put your hand. All right, that's it. This one is more of a gimmick than true hypnotic phenomena. It's almost like a magic trick of sorts, because where we direct their attention is where they're going to feel the pulse. So all we're doing is shifting her attention gently. And as she focuses on each finger, she's going to feel the pulse in that finger, and she's not going to feel it in the finger that she was just focused on. So it gives off the illusion that the pulse is actually jumping around. But it's something cool and interesting and fun for them, and it feels like you are controlling their bodily functions. So it's a good lead-in to the other hypnotic phenomena you're going to do later, such as freezing her body in place. And down. All right, just to show you some of the cool stuff you can do. We're just getting warmed up right now.
Okay.
Check this one out. All right, so those are the 3 mini inductions I promised. You have all the info you need now to go out there and start using them. In my home study course, I go into a little bit more depth for each one. You're going to get the full scripts, what I just said, written out word for word. I'll also teach you how to troubleshoot them if you have trouble getting them to work. But if you watch this video 3 or 4 times, you're going to have a 90% chance of getting this to work right now. And I'm also going to show you one more ninja level conversational induction. The next one you're about to see works every time, and the person has no idea that they're being hypnotized because it's completely conversational. And I have an entire video just on this one induction and all the cool things you can do with it, and you'll find that in my mastermind program. But right now, I'm going to give you a sneak peek of the ice cream induction. This one, you have your eyes open, you're looking at me, put your hands in your lap. In a moment, I'm going to say a color. Okay, actually, you know what? I'm going to say a flavor of ice cream. I made a mistake. You can use colors, you can use ice cream flavors, you can use names of songs. It really doesn't matter. But today, we're going to use flavors of ice cream. I'm not going to say which flavor, like ice cream.
Oh,
I'm going to diet, so I'm jonesing for ice cream. That's where it's coming out of my head.
A little bit of ice cream is not going to hurt you. It's my weakness.
We'll talk about that later. Put your hands right there. In a moment when I say this color, I'm sorry, this ice cream, you're going to feel one of your 2 hands get a little bit more relaxed than the other one. Okay? Very subtly. Just going to feel a little relaxed, a little bit more heavy than the other one. Just let me know when you feel it. It might be your right, it might be your left, I don't know. So just pay attention. Is that okay? Are you ready? And here we go. Vanilla. Which one feels a little heavier?
Slightly the left.
The left one.
Yeah.
Great. Watch this. When I say the next flavor, that heaviness in your left hand is going to start flowing up your left arm. Your whole left arm is going to feel loose, limp, comfortable, very heavy, very relaxed, and it's going to feel really, really good. And just let me know when you feel it. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Chocolate.
Should I relax it? I mean, take it off my...
What are you feeling in your right arm? In your left arm, rather?
I just feel like a little liquid by my elbow.
Interesting. Cool. Okay. And that little tingle is going to start flowing throughout the entire left arm. The whole left arm is going to get even heavier, more relaxed. Strawberry. That's right. And notice what that feels like. What are you noticing?
It's relaxed.
Yeah. You see your hand twitching a little bit?
No,
Your
I
left
didn't.
pinky, yeah.
Is it?
I'll show you on camera later. When I say the next flavor, that relaxation is going to start spreading through your entire body. Your whole body is going to feel loose, limp, comfortable, very, very relaxed. Now, your eyes may feel like they want to close. If you want to close them, you can, or you can keep them open. No matter what, it's going to feel really, really good either way. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just get ready. Just nod your head when you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Pistachio. That's right. And now it's going to get twice as strong and feel twice as good. Pistachio. That's right. When I say the next flavor, a very happy memory from your childhood is going to pop up. Might be something you remember often, might be something you haven't remembered in years. It's going to surprise you, and it's going to feel really, really wonderful. Just wait for it. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Banana. As that comes up with those memories and feelings come up with those memories, banana even stronger. Just let that wash all over you. That's right. And it feels even... She's having an eyes open hallucination of a childhood memory. And she's starting to feel those feelings that are attached to it. Better now, banana. It's just so easy to bring up good feelings.
Yeah.
What was that like? What are you feeling right now in your body?
I feel really calm.
You feel really calm?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you notice?
Grounded.
Grounded.
Definitely grounded.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a good feeling?
Great feeling.
Great feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Did anything pop up inside your mind? Any memories?
What did I remember specifically?
Yeah, was there something that came up specifically?
I just went back to my old neighborhood where I grew up, and it was like me bike riding down the streets. Yeah.
Nice. In New Jersey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Did you notice how your left pinky was twitching again?
Yeah. I felt it. I was like, oh.
Interesting. Do you feel like you're hypnotized right now?
No.
She has no idea, like I said. How would you know?
I don't know.
You don't know, do you?
I just feel relaxed.
You feel relaxed?
Yes.
Yeah, and you feel good?
Yes.
Yeah, and we're having
But
automatic
nothing like-
reactions happen, right?
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I have your permission.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. At any point in time, you're like, peace out, run out the door, right? You're not glued to the chair, not yet. All right, everything's cooperative, you're having fun.
Yeah.
And that's it. So your subconscious is playing with us. She's being nice. She's like, look at me. Look at the cool shit I can do. Right? All right. So pretty cool, right? We're making random childhood memories pop up. We're bringing back good emotions, maybe ones she hasn't felt in 20 years. And we're doing it all conversationally. So it doesn't even feel like she's hypnotized. She has no idea. And what I love about this one, it's actually one of the sneakiest inductions of all time. I learned it from my buddy John Cleesaddle in Texas, and it's one of my favorites. So now that Kiara's all warmed up and she's displaying hypnotic phenomena, and I framed it like we didn't even get to the hypnosis yet, at this point she's going to be super excited to continue. So now I'm going to move into the formal hypnosis, even though this was all hypnosis. And since it's her very first session, I want to show her what hypnosis is all about. So I'm going to deepen her trance. Then I'm going to do some silly skits like glue her eyes shut and make her arm float up and freeze it so she can't move it. And the purpose of this is to prove to her 100% that she is hypnotized. Because unless somebody squirts super glue in her eyes, there's no other time in her life where she's going to find her eyelids completely glued together. And that's why these are called convincers, because we're going to convince her 100% that yes, this is real hypnosis. And once a subject experiences this, they're now going to see you as a real authority who can help them make powerful changes in their life. So here's a sneak peek of this. Number 3, try to open them. The harder you try, the more they lock and stick. Really try. Try. The harder they try, the more they stick. And all you have to do to get them open is say the words, "I'm satisfied," and they'll pop open like magic. Say those words and watch them pop open.
I'm satisfied. Oh my God, this is so cool.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
You surprised yourself, didn't you?
Yeah.
Look at me. Sleep now. Right back down. That's right. And that was eye lock. Now we'll fast forward to the frozen arm. Try to bend your arm. The harder you try, the more impossible it is. Really try. Really try. Open your eyes. Look at that arm. Try to bend it. The harder you try, the more it just stays there. But you know the magic words. All you have to do is say, "I'm satisfied," and it automatically becomes unstick. I know, it's so crazy. It's so weird. So whenever you're ready.
I'm satisfied.
And then you can move that arm. That's so weird, isn't it?
So strange.
So strange. Do you feel like you're hypnotized now?
No.
No, right? How would you know? And she still doesn't think she's hypnotized. And this is because most people just don't know what to expect. They think they're going to feel like they're completely asleep or not remember anything. Who knows what they're thinking? But because it doesn't feel that unusual, they start thinking maybe they're not hypnotized. Which is why it's helpful to use these convincers, these phenomena, until eventually they're 100% convinced that they were hypnotized.
I would not.
I wouldn't. And watch as this hand gets loose, limp, so loose, floppy, even floppy, that's right. All the tension's gone. That's right. And when I drop your hand, you're going to drop all the way down. That's right. There you go. Sleep now. All the way down. You're doing wonderful. That's right. Absolutely amazing. And there she goes back in. After this, I used an advanced technique that brings up very powerful feelings for her. And it makes her start to cry because it's just so intense. And I'll show you a clip of it. It's so strong. That's right. It's so beautiful. All right, so one thing I want to mention, which I mentioned earlier, is that a lot of my students come to me because they want to learn the erotic hypnosis applications. And these are challenging to learn because, number one, very few instructors even teach them, and number two, the ones who do usually overcomplicate things. However, once you learn this stuff, you can do a lot of really cool things. For example, you can make women feel completely sexually aroused on command. You can even give them no-touch orgasms using just your voice. Yes, this really does work. But we're not going to be doing the erotic stuff today because I usually don't do that right away, and I won't go there unless the person specifically requests it. So you're not going to see that stuff with Kiara, but it's definitely another option you have. And I highly recommend you use it with your girlfriend or your wife, or even with girls you're casually dating if they're open to it. And they usually will be. And this stuff is like a secret weapon that makes it nearly impossible for other guys to compete with you, because women are always searching for powerful experiences and powerful feelings. So if you can make your girl feel things she's never felt before, then you just don't have to worry about the competition, because nobody else out there can compete with you. So if you want to learn this approach, I teach all the ins and outs of erotic hypnosis at my live workshops. But I also recorded one of these workshops on high definition videos, so you can check those out if you can't make it to a live training. So now let's skip to the end of the session so we can see what Kiara has to say about it. How are you feeling now?
Good.
Good? Surprise yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Crazy
It's
shit?
like overwhelming, but in a good way.
In a good way. Good. Do you think that other women, especially, but people in general, could benefit from this?
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like a cleanse for your mind. Like a just influencing positive thoughts and going back to your roots and how you can't neglect those feelings. And that, yeah, no, it's overwhelming in a really good way.
Yeah. All right, so there you have it. Girls love this stuff. They love to be hypnotized. They love to learn about themselves and the power of their minds. And with these tools, you can easily make them feel better than they've ever felt before. And many of the girls you'll meet will want to explore the erotic applications because they're interested in feeling more feminine and sexy and desirable, as well as discovering new ways to experience pleasure in all its forms. And if you've done a good enough job up until this point, then they'll usually feel comfortable exploring these other avenues with you because it's a natural progression. So that wraps up your lesson today. If you're interested in learning more, you can check out my 7-day Quick Start Home Study course, which will teach you everything you'll need to know to hypnotize total strangers and make them feel absolutely amazing. And as I mentioned earlier, you're going to get Kiara's full session as an extra bonus. And the program comes with an 8-week money-back guarantee, so you can test everything out risk-free and make sure it all works for you. You can find the link to the program in the description box below. And if you do purchase the program, it comes with email support. So you'll have direct access to me. You can email me any questions you might have if something is a little confusing or you get stuck along the way, and I'll make sure that everything makes perfect logical sense to you. So go check that out. And in the meantime, you can start using these mini inductions right away, like today, to blow people's minds and get them excited about being hypnotized by you again and again. Because once you give them a little taste, they always want more, especially the ladies. So go have fun with this stuff, and please shoot me an email if you have any questions whatsoever. You can reach me at info@learnhypnosisfast.com. I hope you enjoyed your first lesson, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.